right, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. This music is cracking me up. Thank you for joining us. Time now for today's health news, brought to you by the Wellness Company. And under the microscope today, a new study. Don't trust all studies you read. This one wants you to believe that fat but fit could be less deadly than being underweight. Try to think about who might have paid for this study. This study tracked 85,000 people, it says, in saying that being underweight is nearly 3 times deadlier than being fat. Even the low end of healthy BMI, they say, showed higher risks. Researchers say fat but fit is safer than too thin. Of course, Big Pharma has a lot more to gain in keeping people fat, so watch your sources on studies like this one. I did this just to let you know that you can watch your sources, figure out who paid for it, because you can always follow the money. I've noticed that thin people seem to be much healthier and live longer, and so thin and fit may be the answer to longevity, since we know obesity is deadly, and we know that every single time you take a blood pressure medicine or an Alzheimer's medication or a heart medication or a diabetes medication, there's a lot of money in that. So the industry, that is Big Pharma, has a lot to gain by telling you that fat is better. The Wellness Company is here to give you the tools and experts to live stronger, though, and we are blessed to have them. There's a new administration in Washington, D.C., and they brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is that there's only so much government can do, though. If we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each of us, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors on this network all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard to keep you safe and healthy. They give you, make you prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits. These kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks that assist in the use of the medications in the kit. Also, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and more, that help you stay healthy and live a longer, more satisfying life. Make America healthy again. We hear it every day, but it starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of yourself and your family. Go to twc.health/RAV. Give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. That will save you 10%. 10%. Joining us now from the Wellness Company is Dr. James Thorp. He is Chief of Maternal and Prenatal Health. Doctor, welcome back to American Sunrise. I laughed when I saw this study. I really want to educate everyone to look at who pays for studies. Now they're trying to convince us that they have a study with 85,000 people that says that fat is better than thin. I'm sure it has nothing at all to do with where their funding comes from. Right, doctor?
You're absolutely right, Gina, and thank you very much for having me on my favorite morning show. So yes, you're right. This is absolute nonsense. The data is clear. An ideal body weight is much healthier and much safer. Now, they're using buzzwords like underweight. So we have to look at their nonsense and their shenanigans for shifting around definitions.
Yeah. Well, I have to absolutely ask you about the big breaking news, probably the biggest breaking news since we've been watching this whole MAHA thing go down. And that, of course, is actual research being done. Imagine that. And they're saying, hey, you know, there might be things that cause autism that we've never studied. Tell us, doctor, this is big news for the Wellness Company.
It is. And in one way, it's a success, Dr. Gina. In another way, it's extraordinarily disconcerting, because as I look at that White House briefing, I was not happy. What they're doing is overrating the contribution of Tylenol, which and underrating the effects of the vaccine. We at the Wellness Company, at least some of us, are calling this Operation Tylenol Smokescreen. They underestimate the horrible damage that vaccines have done, and they try to cover it up with Tylenol. Listen, they didn't have an obstetrician gynecologist up there. Okay, all they talked about was Tylenol and pregnancy. Yes, there are some concerning data, but it's the vaccines in pregnancy that should never be taken. And it's a vaccine schedule in the first 12 months of life that are causing the autism.
And that makes so much sense to me. I'm so glad you said this, because I realize that so many children are born perfectly normal, right? And then they go and they get the vaccine. So if the cause were always Tylenol, it doesn't make sense that, I believe the statistics I've read, Dr. Thorp, and you can correct me on this, this is your absolute area of expertise, 80% of autism cases are onset after birth. So it doesn't make sense necessarily. Maybe in that 20%, it's possible, might be a genetic cause, might be other things. But we're talking about the lock, stock, and barrel of autism cases are caused by something we're doing to children after they're born.
That's right. They might be primed by Tylenol during pregnancy, but you should never take a vaccine in pregnancy. Never, ever. There's no long-term data. But let me say this, that those pregnant women that are getting vaccines and having symptoms, fever, and taking Tylenol, they may be amplifying the damage to their preborn.
Let me ask you this. The wellness company, are you getting a lot of calls from parents that want a detoxification for their babies? And is that something the wellness company does? Because we haven't really talked about that on this show.
Yes, I think that's something that is very important. The detoxification mechanisms in the newborn, arguably in the fetus, they're more robust because they're connected to mommy, right? But after birth, when that umbilical cord is cut, these babies are extremely at risk and much more vulnerable to vaccine injury and to detoxification for a variety of reasons. So yes, we at the Wellness Center are focusing on that wellness, and we're exposing what we call we assign military names for these bogus movements, and this is their administration is Operation Tylenol Smokescreen.
So for those still suffering from the side effects of COVID and all the spike proteins, I know I have the ultimate spike detox sitting right in front of me. I take one every single day when I get on set. And it really does help with those symptoms. But ivermectin is another big thing that we weren't even allowed to talk about a few years ago. And now it's a big seller at the wellness company because people really need that treatment.
It's really big. And by the way, Dr. Gina, I suspect, you look terrific. Your skin looks terrific. And you are probably well aware that many mascara products, high-end, have had ivermectin in them. And now at the wellness company, we have an ivermectin cream.
That's
and we also have a standalone ivermectin pill whereby you can adjust your ivermectin doses. And it's very cheap, it's very effective, and very high quality.
That is so much better than the ivermectin horse paste that I was stirring into my tea during COVID, trying to take it. Thank God for Wellness Company. And thank you for helping us sift through this breaking news that I think is going to continue to break. Look, the good news is RFK is there. He's doing some great things. And I think we'll have a lot to talk about in the weeks to come. Dr. James Thorp from the Wellness Company, thank you for all you guys do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gina, for having me on. Look forward to seeing you again. Keep up the great work.
You as well. All right, up next, NATO goes woke and bans words deemed offensive. One would think they would be more concerned about achieving peace in Europe. Find out as American Sunrise continues.